you doing, my friends? Hope you're doing great. It's Charles, just here eating healthy like I always do. And got me a fucking carrot, onion, kupus salad. Fuck, modern life. Gotta lose some weight, you know. Getting ready to go to the USA. About 1 month, man. I leave on April 10th. So, trying to lose some weight. Man, I got so big, you know, in such a short period of time. And I've been being a little bit more active now, you know. I don't know what the hell it is, but I have a hard time losing weight, boys and girls, especially in this country, I guess, because everything I eat is fast food. But anyway, man, we are in the heart, not the heart of, the beginning of the bombing of Serbia. Okay, I hate this time of year. Every year, March 24th was the day it all began. NATO troops, Bill Clinton, Tony Blair, Madeleine Albright, Wesley Clark, all these Jubre folks decided that there was a lot of interests here in the southern portion of Serbia. And they thought, man, how can we take over this place, you know? And unfortunately, they started bombing this country, and they did it for 3 freaking months. They didn't just bomb military bases. They bombed hospitals. They bombed a passenger train down in Niš. They bombed the Chinese embassy. Mistake, but yet the Chinese were one of the few that was against it, you know. These bombs are so precise, you know. They went over somewhere in Užice. They bombed this post office in Užice. The bombs are so precise, it went down this chimney straight inside and blew it up from the interior. But yet they accidentally bombed the Chinese embassy. Strange, huh? And as an American this time of year, I always feel bad. And I just hate it because I live here. I know these people. I know, oh God, I know more Serbians than I do Americans anymore. This is 8 years, guys, I've been in this country, you know, and it breaks my heart every time of year because all Facebook is filled with bombing this, bombing that, this devastation that happened here in Novi Sad. One of my friends shared this album, 78 pictures of Novi Sad, just what happened in Novi Sad. The bridges, there was a young lady that was on the bridge when we blew it up. You know, so it just breaks my heart, man, you know. It's embarrassing, you know, and I feel the need to apologize. I had nothing to do with it. I wasn't in the military, you know. 1999, I was still going to university and I was working full time, you know, but I feel the need to apologize because my fucking government will never do it, you know. They're never going to admit that they made a mistake. And in defense of the American people, you know, if so many Americans, the Americans I know, the Americans who come here that meet the Serbians, that actually see what the people we supported were doing and are still doing down there, you know, if we knew this and we knew the normal people, we would have been totally against this, you know. The Serbian community in the USA is they're not trashy people. They're not people living off government benefits. They're working hard. They're educated people. They're successful people. They blend into our society so well, you know. And if we just knew what we've done, the average person is going to say, what are we supporting these people who are ripping crosses off of churches? Lots of these folks are joining ISIS and doing these horrible things, you know. It's just a disgrace and it's an embarrassment, you know. So I feel the need to apologize. I'll give you an idea of what happened in Subotica. We just got back from Subotica. I went there with my American boss, my Norwegian friend, and a couple Serbians. With Gina Pujic, he's a good friend of mine. I'm taking him to Nantucket this summer. He's a student. And he invited us to Subotica, you know. So I got to meet Zvonko Bogdan. We got to meet him. Such a gentleman, you know. We went into the Boss Cafe. He was in there, came up. Oh my God, put his hands on you. Such a great guy. On the way up there, we took the train. It's like 700 dinars to go back and forth, round trip to Subotica, which is like, takes 2.5 hours each way. But it's fun, it's great. Nobody on the train. On the way back, on the way there, we were sitting there. We're just sitting there. This is the day of the bombing, mind you. This doesn't happen much here in Serbia. But we're sitting there speaking English. This guy, probably about 50 years old. He would have been here in the heart of a war. He walks through us. There's 4 of us sitting on one side and 4 sitting on the other side. He steps right there in between all of us, and he says to one of us, he says, "Jebem ti pas mater," something like that, blah, 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 and walks through. I told my friend, I said, "Ooh, razumum pas jebem ti pas mater." That means your dog mother. I'm fucking your dog mother, something like that, you know. Or your mother's a dog and I'm fucking her, something like that. And I was like, ooh. And the Serbian said, he said that, and then he said, "I don't want to hear this language," because we're speaking English language. And he walked to the front of the train. I was like, oh my God, you know. But that is, it's not nice to say, but I understand it, you know. There's anger, there's frustration. These Serbian people, they see how every tragedy that happens in the United States is broadcast to the world. It's all over the international media. Same in England, in France. Any little thing happens, you know. Not saying it's okay. If anybody dies, it's terrible. It's bad if an American dies. It's bad if a French guy dies. But it's equally as bad if a Serbian dies. And the way the Serbians see it, when a tragedy happens in the West, it's all over the media, and everybody should shut down and sympathize and cry and everything. But if something happens to them, it's a Serbian. It's a Balkan person. You know, it's like it's a totally different thing. It's unfair. So I totally get the anger and the frustration with these people. You know, it's not fair. You know, if an American dies, it's a tragedy, but it's the same tragedy as if a Serbian dies. If a Serbian's ethnically cleansed from his village, it's equally as sad as if an Albanian's ethnically cleansed from his, right? Isn't that the way the world should be? But it's not. It's one-sided, guys. And I say it over and over, and it's frustrating, and it pisses me off. And you know, a funny thing, there's one Serbian minister. I was in the newspaper because I made a post, like I do every single March 24th. I posted a post about, you know, sympathy should go toward the Serbians. And I made an apology, like I always do. Nothing wrong with apologizing. I know I'm not responsible, but I feel the need to apologize because my government, nor NATO, or anybody else ever will. So I feel the need to here in this country. But I made a post about it. And of course, many things I say are sent to the media. So I got to be careful. It was in Blitz. It was in the Bosnian Republika Srpska newspaper. It was in Telegraph. It was in, oh my God, it was in a ton of things. Long story short, one of the ministers, I'm not going to say his name, he saw it, he messaged my friend, and he said, hey, he said, "I saw your friend, the Americans, in the newspapers. He sent that to a certain individual. That certain individual watched it, and that certain individual wants to meet me. So no names, but it's good news for me because I've always wanted a Serbian passport. And I promise you," so many people say, "Oh, what do you want it for? Some financial reasons for this and that." I don't want your passport for any financial reasons. There's no way it would benefit me. It might benefit me a hair, you know, but it's not serving me any purpose, or it would not serve me any purpose other than I want it because I care about your people. I'm more of a Serbian patriot than a lot of you that watch this video. A lot of you in the diaspora who hate me and think, say, "Get out of my country. You're over there in Australia. You're back in the USA. I live here. I struggle with your people, you know? I know your people. I deal with your people on a daily basis. I deal with your students, the future leaders of this country. I deal with on a daily basis. I talk to them. I go out with them. I listen to them. I know what they're looking for, what they want in life, what they're not getting, their hopes, their dreams. I know it all. I'm a guy that deserves your passport here. And if I had the passport, everybody says, "Why would you want it? What do you want?" I don't want it so I can go to China, Russia, Cuba. That might help. I mean, I might want to go. But the only reason I want it is to say, hey, I'm a Serbian now. I can vote. I can help make your country great again. So that's the reason I want it, as a pride factor, because I've done this for 8 years. You know, so many people wrote to me 2 years ago and said, "Oh, you're going to get sick of this country. You're going to leave. You're going to do this." I have not left, my friends. I'm here. And I will always be here, okay? So if anybody deserves this, Steven Seagal gets it. This English actor gets this, along with a lot of other money to do these things. I don't want any money. I spend my own money here. I spend lots of money here. I go out every single night and smoke nargila in this place. Roughly 300 euros a month I spend just in the nargila bar, just smoking and drinking and eating things in there. Not let alone the amount I spend in other places, in other food places. I'm spending a lot in your country. So I'm not here sucking your country dry. I just want this passport to be proud of it because I would be a very proud Serb, okay? That's why I want it. Hang it on the wall, stick it up on the wall and say, you know what? These are good people. I'm one of these people who've been treated like shit by everybody around the world, but I have a bigger voice, unfortunately, than you Serbians do. If I were to become a citizen, people would listen, unfortunately, I think. People listen a little bit more to the Western people, to the American people, unfortunately. It's the same as everything else. We're put on a level here with everybody else's here. It's unfortunate. You could be, most of you are 10,000 times smarter than me, but more people listen to me. More foreigners are going to look up YouTube here and look for an American speaking about your country than they will about a Serbian speaking about your country. That's just the way the world works, unfortunately. So I want your passport to be a proud Serbian so I can help broadcast the good things about your people, which I've done for many, many years, and I will continue to do. So that's a little bit about me. Apologize for this bombing incident, 3-month incident. I don't know why I called it an incident. This tragedy, this illegal attack on your people. And I hate it. You know, I love your people. I know the people that were bombed. I know the people that left this country because of the bombing. I deal with the kids who were born during the bombing, who had to hide out in these apartment complexes and stuff in the basement. I know these kids who said when they were young, they thought it was the coolest thing ever because during the bombing, they would go up on the roof here in Novi Sad and see these fireworks. They thought it was fun for them. They said these kids who were during the attacks, they'd go down in these basements in Belgrade when they were being bombed. They thought it was fun because they're little kids. They get to hang out together with all their neighbors and everything. It was fun. But I also know the parents who were bombed, who dealt with this shit, who had to worry about their kids if they left the house getting bombed. You know, so I know many things about you. I've listened, I've heard, many times, I got a loud mouth, I talk a lot, but I can shut up and listen too. And I've done it, my friends. So I deserve your passport. I would be a good Serbian, my friends. Wish you all the best. Volim vas, Srbi. Mwah.